Hello and welcome to this video on community involvement, the 8th step in cryptocurrency fundamental analysis. So one of the best ways I like to evaluate a project is by its community. A good community will take a decent coin and make it a great one. A good community will have lots of discussions surrounding the nature of the project. A good community will discuss ways to better market, improve, and evangelize their chosen project. A good community is when you feel welcome in, even as someone who's never touched the project before. Community sentiment is the lifeblood of a project worth investing in. If morale is high, it's fantastic to see how excited people are about the possibilities, the use cases, the adoption, and the price. If morale is low, then it's often a depressing ghost town with the occasional angry post or a hopeful person still holding on to the dream. One of the most important things about engrossing yourself in the community, evaluating rhetoric as you did in step 3, is that you'll learn things you could have never learned from the white paper and website alone. The community is the best source of information outside of the project team themselves, and you can often get the scoop on something well before the masses by being an active participant. Sometimes they'll find something that you overlooked or missed. While rumors should be taken with a grain of salt, insider information is often shared within the community channels, which can give you a leg up and allow you to secure a trade before the price goes up. For example, is the team announcing masternodes? Are they going to release their mainnet early? Is there going to be an airdrop for coin holders on a certain date? I guarantee you the community will know these things before the greater crypto space does. Getting back to reading the people themselves, remember that at the end of the day, it's people who buy coins, regardless of the technology. Yes, oftentimes people are overly emotional about a coin they invested in. It's natural to want to support or even trumpet your favorite coin's legitimacy. But far too often people go overboard. Community spaces become an echo chamber, and those that disagree or point out a flaw are shunned or silenced. Be careful of spaces which appear to drink a little too much of their own Kool-Aid. Far too often I see communities that do not value open discussion. It does speak to the overall immaturity of the space that sometimes communities get into heated us versus them mentalities where because one community believes their coin is superior, they take to openly bashing their competitor's coin. For one, if you want to do it right, you invest in both, and secondly, most of these projects are so far away from actual adoption that it's senseless to get into heated internet battles about which one is better. Simply because one coin has a higher market cap than another does not automatically make it the better coin, nor does it make it the one most likely to succeed in the long term. But enough discussing of internet politics of cryptocurrencies. As I was saying, it's people who buy coins, and quite obviously you need buyers and continued demand to drive up price and keep it there. Too often I see coins that are the flavor of the month or flavor of the week, and they become this big sensation. Everyone jumps on the bandwagon for this coin, driving hype and euphoria, and its overhyped nature is at its most obvious when all of the top 100 are all in the red except for this coin. Then everyone figures out it had little substance or couldn't deliver the promises fast enough, or the CEO makes a fool of themselves on Twitter, and suddenly a community that was full of excitement is now filled with panicked souls who are asking, will the price ever go back up to this level? One of the things we want to check is the trading availability of this coin. If you didn't look during the coin supply appraisal, check out the CoinMarketCap page for this coin and specifically the Markets tab. Is the coin supported by reliable exchanges? Volume of trading matters. Liquidity matters. Being able to trade a crypto easily matters for mass adoption. This is why we'll see coins explode in price once it's announced that they'll be added to one of the largest exchanges, especially if they were previously on smaller exchanges. That being said, if the coin is only on smaller exchanges, that may be an opportunity for you to get into the coin you're looking at well before everyone else. So the biggest things we want to evaluate are the two main areas as it relates to community: online forums and communication channels. Online forums are generally communities such as Reddit that are self-policing and are great for finding information. Communication channels are usually Telegram or Slack. They have real-time discussions, and occasionally members of the team will weigh in or make announcements. Some investors will evaluate a crypto project by looking at the number of people in each of these areas. They'll say something like market cap of $100,000 or lower per Reddit subscriber is a very positive sign, while anything over 300,000 is not. But I don't put much stock into something like that. What's absolutely more important for me is activity, interest, and most critically, enthusiasm. I'll value a subreddit of 1,000 people higher than one of 10,000 if the former has more active posts and you can tell people are more excited about it. A lot of times a crypto project will do really well and then it might hit a lull or fizzle out. That might not be immediately apparent if you solely look at the community size alone. You might get this false impression that because a community is large, it means the project is good. But that's not at all what I recommend. So some questions to ask about community are, how big of a social presence does this project have? Does the community have people emotionally invested in the project, or are they just interested in trading? Do people talk about this project on other channels? For example, is it mentioned on the main cryptocurrency subreddit a lot? Are people genuine about their excitement about this project? Or do they only get excited by the price? What is the level of discussion on the different boards? Is it constructive or surface level? You'll notice that our cryptocurrency fundamental analysis research document does not have the final 3 steps in the fundamental analysis process. And that's intentional in order to drive the point home that at this point you should have already made your mind up about the project you're looking at the community, evaluating the team's communications, and buying in. These are all things that are ongoing, future-based. You will need to constantly monitor the community and communications if you want to continue to stay informed on a crypto. It's all well and good to read through historical discussions and announcements, but you need to become very good at staying on top of where a project is going. Or maybe your intention is just to invest and walk away, which is all well and good if that's your strategy going in. In which case, if you decide to look back at this project a year from now, you can reference your research document to catch you up to speed. If you want to take notes about the project's communications or the community, there's a notes section in the last page of the research document. One thing to note is that while Twitter could technically be considered both an online forum and an announcement channel, be aware that there's a high volume of spam or fake users on there. Still, it's worth checking out the Twitter profile for the project, and we'll return to this in the next video on judging communications from the team themselves.